Ready? I am rolling.
Welcome to Bug's World, and this is a first because I am conducting my first interview, and
Ever?
my guest, not ever, I've talked to you before, but this is my first interview for Bug's World, and my first live interview with you, and my guest, as you can see, is the hardcore legend, WWE Hall of Famer, and one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Mick Foley. And this is kind of funny because I hated you when I first started watching. I hated Mankind because
Doing
The
my job,
Undertaker...
yeah.
Well, because The Undertaker was my guy. I have a tattoo on my back for The Undertaker, not of The Undertaker, but so I hated you because you kept beating him, and now you've won me over with all the hard work, dedication, everything that you have done, and now I'm just an absolute fan, and you're one of my all-time greats. So
Then you level with me. Will anyone actually see this interview?
there would be. I got about 30 people that check out my webpage. So and of course I'll get the Mick Foley bump, so that'll help out.
Well, this is what I would like is for anyone who comes to the show tonight at the Funny Bone. You're not posting this like tomorrow, right? It's got to go.
No, it'll get posted today.
And specifically mentioned that you got the ticket. So I'm doing an informal, internal survey, and we're gonna find out the power of the bug, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm skeptical, but we're gonna do
skeptical
it.
of the
Skeptical
bump. Skeptical
of the bump, yeah. Skeptical of the bump. So we're gonna say, you guys out there? All right. Let me know if you're there because of this.
Mick
show.
Foley, right next to me. That's amazing. I feel like Chris Farley. I want to remember that one time that you got thrown off the stage. And, yeah, that was awesome.
I did get asked about that. We had a contest winner, and just at this station before I went and did the TV show, you know, we did a few radio shows, and we've documented. Why aren't they in here? Aren't they supposed to be?
I don't know.
Jeez.
Apparently we're not big enough to get documented.
Hold on, let me keep the camera rolling. Let me see. Maybe they didn't know they were invited. Keep going. Just keep talking there.
All right. Well, Mick Foley's going to go check out his documentary crew, see what they're up to. Is having a great time just shooting the breeze right now with Mick Foley. Again, as I mentioned, I hated the guy growing up, but now he's one of my all-time favorites. He's obviously a legend, and one of the things that I just respect about you so much is that you came from quote-unquote being a sideshow, doing the ECW, the crazy Japanese wrestling with barbed wire and explosives and things like that.
I never consider myself to be part of a sideshow. But go ahead.
Well, I never did either, but you know, a lot of the people inside the mainstream media and stuff would consider that to be a bit
like garbage. Yeah. Some people would call it garbage wrestling.
And I love it because you built yourself into a respectable, you know, in the eyes of mainstream, to where you've done a lot of great things, being an author, being a comic book writer, you know, doing the stand-up, and just talk about that evolution to where you've earned that respect from a lot of people that may have, you know, frowned upon what you were doing back in the day.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling knowing that even the you know the real technicians in our business, you know, the WWE guys whose styles are polar opposite from what mine was, you know, they seem to like and respect the hard work I put into it. But with that being said, you know, I had the wild style, but it always lent itself well to working with others, so they could incorporate that wildness. And then, you know, in the case of a guy like Shawn Michaels, in 1996, was able to bring out a side of Shawn that people hadn't seen, and then he came out of, you know, the one match in particular with a different edge to him, you know, and so. It was a wild style, and for people who would say, well, anyone can do that, you go, well, anyone could do it, but not anyone could do it well.
Right.
You know, like there's an art to it. It's like saying anyone can play Little League Baseball. You know, yeah, well, anyone could do it, but it's hard to do it well. And that was the knock at times when people thought the WWE show may have had, you know, too much humor in it. You know, like anyone could do humor, and you know, I remember the lead writer goes, "No, anyone can do humor, but it's hard to do it well and to incorporate it." So I try to incorporate different elements, you know, as I did in my career. Try to incorporate those elements into my stage show, so that when people leave, they feel like they've had an experience, you know, not just a series of jokes. hopefully it's stuff that will stay with them a while.
Yeah, we'll get to the show in a moment. I still got to get my fandom out of the way here.
I know I was trying to steer it. Trying to get people to come. And
if you haven't noticed, he's at the Toledo Funny Bone tonight, 7:30. One show only. Tickets are going fast, so try and get them right away. We'll be there checking it out. This will be the first time checking out Mick Foley. Last year I was disappointed because you came in November and I was with the Toledo Rockets football team that night, so I wasn't able to check out the show. So I'm glad that I'll be able to get the opportunity tonight. Who's the favorite guy that you've worked with? Not necessarily wrestled, because you've been with all the legends. You mentioned Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Ric Flair, Terry Funk, and even some of the current guys. So who's your favorite guy that you've worked with, whether it's in the ring or just doing segments or maybe just something backstage that people may not know about?
Really enjoyed my photo session with the Bella Twins.
Oh, I imagine.
When I was Santa, and even though I had been cruelly written off the Christmas episode of Raw, despite the fact that I had been brought out specifically to be Santa Claus.
Right.
I had more money tied up in my Santa attire than everything else I own cumulatively. I was able to hold in that pain and realize that by not being on that Raw show, that I was free to do a photo session with all the divas. And so, for example, you take a polarizing figure like Eva Marie with the red hair. And this is the first time I'm saying this, so this is a breakthrough.
Bugs World exclusive.
A lot of people hate Eva Marie, but I find there are two types of people in the world: those whose laps Eva Marie has sat on, and those whose laps she hasn't. And people who have laps that she sat on don't hate her.
Right, they got nice things to say about her.
Yeah, nice things to say about her. It was a pleasant experience. She smelled good, and then when I said, "Hey, it'd be fun, like whisper something into my ear, and I'll act like I'm shocked, like I'm Santa." And I'm not going to tell you what she whispered into my ear, but I didn't have to pretend to be shocked because I was. Yeah, even a good guy likes a bad girl.
Yeah. That's great to hear.
It's exclusive. There you go.
As you said, not everybody can do what you did and what you're capable. I'm evidence of that. I tried out with Al Snow down. They had a show.
There's your problem.
Yeah, they had a show, Ohio Valley Wrestling, down in Fremont, and this was probably about 10 years ago. And my brother paid the $50 for me to get the tryout before the show, and I ran the ropes, and I was okay with that. And then it came to getting clotheslined, and I didn't tuck my chin, so I smacked my head off the mat, and I wound up with a concussion.
All right, first day, I believe there's a lawsuit in there.
Well, that was more on myself.
I'll help you find a lawyer to sue Mr. Snow.
Yeah?
Yeah. No. Why are you taking a clothesline on your first day? They made you take a clothesline.
They had us do a clothesline, and they also did a suplex.
Okay.
And I took the suplex, but I didn't take the clothesline.
All right.
So, you got any tips if I try to get my wrestling career back on track?
Yeah, don't let somebody clothesline you on your first day at wrestling. And how much do you weigh, seriously?
Well, at the time, I weighed about 240. Now I'm down to about $165.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not messing with me?
No, I was at 240 when I did that. And over the last couple of years.
What you're telling me is after the traumatic brain injury suffered at the hands of Al Snow.
Yes.
Your body started rebelling against itself. This is all stuff I can use in my suit.
Talking with WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley in town tonight at the Toledo Funny Bone. 7:30 is the show. One show only. And as you talked about with the show, what are people planning to expect? Because the way that I think of it and the way that it's kind of, I guess, tailored to people is it's WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley. So you assume it's going to be a lot of wrestling-related things and that maybe only people who follow wrestling would be able to get the jokes or at least truly appreciate the stories that you tell.
It is a wrestling-centric show, but the non-fans, they enjoy themselves. They really do. I had a review when I was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it was a really positive review, and it ended up with a great line. It said, and it was Broadway Babies, which is a decidedly non-wrestling publication, and the summation was, if you are interested at all in wrestling, you will love it, and if you're not, you'll like it. And I said, all right, that's fair enough. Like, you know, if you're not a fan, there's, you know, clearly other shows that might be more to your liking, but
Right.
people do like it, and they're surprised. And I really take it upon myself to, I feel responsible for the time that people have in my show, and especially as it relates to women who are not fans. I don't want them looking back at my show as one of the worst times they ever had. So I try to create a nice atmosphere before I tell the stories of graphic injury and body parts missing.
Right.
And they're stories that I've worked on. That's there's something to be said for, you know, the freewheeling extemporaneous style, and I did one recently at a library in Gainesville, Florida, and I really liked it. But I think when people pay $20 or $25 or more if you buy one of them, then I'll be scalping outside the arena. That they deserve to see something special, and the only way to make it special is to work on it. So these are stories that I've worked on. You know, there's the moments that arise that are unique to each location, and
Right.
you know, I'll take a few requests. So it'll be almost like where Tori Amos takes requests for her show, and she'll go solo on the piano. It's almost
Right.
exactly like
Okay,
that.
all right. You're
My
going to be busting
version
out a
of,
piano, or?
No, but
No.
last night I did a little a cappella Tori Amos song.
all right.
I don't know if I'll do it if the mood hits me.
Right.
I will do things just to see if they work. And one of my, and I will tell you a bit I did
Okay.
that I will never have the chance to do again.
Okay.
And I did it because I knew it was going to be painful for the audience. And when I told Roddy Piper, he was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
And Piper's saying that. That's saying something.
So Roddy and I did one combined show together, and I came out and I said, "I just came out here," even though I sound more like Harley Race than Roddy Piper, to tell jokes and chew bubble gum. It's to take off on Piper's famous line about
Right.
kicking butt and chewing gum, and he's all out of bubble gum. And I said, "Just came out here to tell great jokes and chew bubble gum, but I don't actually have any jokes, so I guess I'll just chew this bubble gum." And I took out a piece of gum and I started chewing it. A big bazooka, big stick
Right,
took
right.
it. And Roddy said, "How long are you going to chew it?" I said, "Until it becomes uncomfortable. And just wait until it, and when
How long?
it seems like you have to say something, I will continue to not say anything." I thought they were good.
How long did you push it?
Good 2 minutes.
2
Without
minutes?
saying a word, and then Roddy came out. We did the old let's whisper and have a private conversation with a microphone.
Cover the mic.
Well,
Right.
"Man, what are you doing here?" I said, "Roddy, I got nothing." He said, "What do you mean you have nothing? Like, you're one of the greatest mic men in our sport." And I said, "You think I came up with that stuff? Brian Gewirtz's Flight never made it here. Yeah, lead writer of Raw."
Right.
And so we had some fun with it. But I love the idea of occasionally doing stuff that I know is just rotten. And I only do that because I have confidence that I can follow it up.
You got to keep it
That
fresh, too.
I can regain, I can regain it. But if I do something that's fun for me and people get that, I think it's invigorating.
You were a part of the highest rated segment still in
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw history, This Is Your Life with The Rock. And that was a fantastic segment, absolutely funny. But with that, and you were talking about not everybody can be funny, but you were naturally a funny guy. That was a part of it. I know The Rock kind of drove it a little bit more just because of his reactions, but I mean, obviously you had some input and setup to get that. So was it kind of a natural transition from you doing that to going into the world of stand-up?
I just was laughing because I tried my hardest to get Yerpel to my Detroit show last night.
Yeah.
And, apparently Yerpel and JoJo's Funtime Palace has gone out of business.
Oh.
Like, I called on 4 different occasions and the number wasn't working. And I thought, bam, that's a surprise.
Right.
You know, in Rochester, New York, I had Edge, and you know, I've come out with some of the other WWE superstars have made surprise visits. And I learned a lesson in Rochester. I did 2 shows. I did an early the show went really well, where Edge was the big surprise guest, and all the people waiting for the late show
Right.
saw the rush of people going out. They were like, "Wow, it's great!" And Edge, you kept hearing the name Edge. So I started out the Friday Night Late Show, which is always a difficult show anyway.
Right,
People
right.
dread the Friday Night Late Show, and I knew it would hurt the crowd, but I just couldn't help to lead by going, ladies and gentlemen, not sure if you heard the news, but WWE Hall of Famer Edge, people cheered, was here. He's not here anymore. He's gone, but he was awesome. It's too bad you missed it.
You had to be there, guys.
And it took the energy that was already down and like brought it down a level. And then as I started to get them back, a guy who I thought was doing a legitimate spit take at something I said ended up projectile vomiting on a woman in front of him, and it just went downhill from there. So not every show is a winner, but tonight's show will be a winner. Tonight, right here in Perrysburg, Ohio. Perrysburg / Toledo at the Funny Bone. I've got to go because I've got a WWE interview to do, and that takes precedence.
Right.
Even over the Bug Show.
Oh, come on. Come on, Mick. No love?
There's love, yeah, but you're not writing my checks, right?
Oh, that's true.
I don't think I have a single
I can give you a
check,
check, but I don't know how much it's going to be worth, so.
But I do have to, I got to get back to the room to handle that. And
all right.
I have to do this thing called sleeping, which
sleep is overrated.
It's overrated, but it's often necessary.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see some of you guys out there. But seriously, if anyone, I'm guessing the number is 0.
0?
Yeah. But and I'm just saying that because I'm not sure the word's going to get out. It's going to be like a boomerang effect. Where next Tuesday, people are like, "Wait, you kidding me? He was there.
Right.
He was on the show, and I missed it."
I doubt that. It's going to be jam-packed tonight.
Okay,
So
right.
I really think so.
Toledo, but how many are
Toledo's
there?
A huge community for wrestling.
Was it driven by the Bug? We'll find out.
That's what we're hoping for. Mick Foley tonight at the
meet and greet, because there is a post-show meet and greet.
Okay.
And there is a strong correlation between the strength of the show and the kindness I show towards the fans. So if I really rock, I won't be very nice.
Right.
If I come up short, I'll make up for it by being, just glowing to everybody who shows up. But if you have the chance, say, I'm here because I heard you and saw you on the Bug Show.
WWE legend, Hall of Famer, hardcore legend Mick Foley tonight at the Toledo Funny Bone, 7:30. Get your tickets. Mick, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry about that head injury at the hands of Al Snow.